Hi, welcome back to today's class. Quickly, I want us to get to play with simple syntax in database management system using SQL, and then I want us to use a method whereby we are going to be importing data. In the last class, we actually learned how to create tables and join tables. Now, for this class, we'll be learning some of the syntax using examples of the data sets we have before. So I'll be importing one of the data sets that we have before. Make sure your data set is being saved in CSV so that you can have you don't have to edit it all, or if you have any issues with that, you can actually receive your data set back to CSV if your own is at XLXX. So let's go. The first thing we are going to do is you need to add a new database. Let's say you need to add a new database name. Okay, let's say I think the analysis was half of the sales performance, half of the, or let's do sales performance so that we don't sales performance sales performance 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 analysis. So we go with that. We go to analysis, performance analysis. Okay, so now we have created a database for that. So we are going to add a new task. This, we have sales performance here. So we have, you click on it, you have task, then you import flat file. Make sure you know where your data set is being saved, or you saved it properly, probably in a folder. Then you can retrieve them through your process of browsing. Now let's browse through the system. Okay, my own is SQL dataset CSV. So let's go. So you press next so that you can. So now after adding that, let's have our new query here. Then let's confirm if we have the data set in the table. Select, when you're using select, you should use from. So let's do select all is start from let's check what is on class chunk. Now let's do it like this. Let's rename this so that we can get a proper name. We don't have issues with a long name like that. Let's do sales performance sales performance sales performance performance, so that we have that. So in case you can actually refresh it here so that you have. So let's do sales performance. No, we don't have it yet. From sales, let me copy the name. Let me just first rename, then copy it. So let's check if we have it now in our data. Is sales performance. It has not been registered yet. Comment. Okay, wow, that's nice. So we have it already in our database. If you can check, you can see that this is the data set. Now, so we'll be using some of the syntax to actually practice what we have in the data set. So we're going to be doing some basic, and then we're using it alongside with some aggregate functions like that. So we'll be creating some tables. We'll try and manipulate those we'll try and manipulate our data set in such a way that we can actually get some results. So we're using some of the basic commands so that we can actually get that. So I intentionally brought this so that we can actually get how to go about it when you bring in a file. So let's see, let's play alongside with, let's try with filtering when we have where. Let's try that when we have a where statement. let's do let's do select all from sales performance. Let me put where on that so that we can get it. So where, let's assume that you want to make it a where region. Let's say where region. We need to click on that column where region is spelled capital letter A. It should bring where region. Normally it should come out here. Let's go on where region is equals to, let's finish it off first so we correct where we have issues. Now when you have a red line like this, it's showing that the probability that your query might not run. When you have your region equals to, when you are writing anything and you want to represent it in form of a string, you have to put it in an apostrophe. Next, when the region is, let's do Ibadan. So when the region is Ibadan, let's see. Let's execute this. Let's see. Good. When the region is Ibadan. Now did you see that? Let's check. Now we have January region is in Ibadan. Did you see? Where the region is Ibadan. Meaning that when you use your where, just like conditional statement, where region equals to Ibadan. I told you the other time, I said when you are writing your query just like an English language, you need to understand which command worked for your results. You can make mistakes. Sometimes if you do it, it might not run. That does not mean because I'm doing it at once and it is running. That does not mean when you do it once or twice you are making a mistake. No. When you check your errors, you fix in your errors. Now let's go on with other things like that. Let's play alongside it with where, let's see this one where product is. So let me do this using where statement so that we get to know using where so that when you see it you can actually know what to do. Okay, let me copy this one. Let's paste it here. Let's check for product. Let's assume that we want to check for product now. Let's say product. Be careful with the product you are clicking. Now this one is bringing out product in form of a build function. So let's be careful with that. When product when product equals to, let's try kilichi. Oh, let's try popcorn. It's bringing it as, normally it's bringing it as product, but basically because of the way I actually wrote the query, it's giving me a good response, a correct response. So we have the product for popcorn. So you can actually retrieve your data like this, telling it what to do. But the truth is, you must actually understand how to write the query. I told you when you're having a select, there must be a from. 100% there must be a from. If you're having a conditional statement where this is popcorn, when this one is, that's equals to popcorn, when it is less than 30, when it is greater than, you understand, you can actually use that one to less than, greater than, to actually use it. This is based on how you know how to use your query. Now let me say this one. Sometimes you might actually need to get a desired result, and then the way you write your own query will be different from others. Don't be scared. Just make sure you get your desired result. Know what you want to do and write your query in such a way that you can get your desired result. So let's do where revenue is greater than, so that select all Okay, we don't need to actually put this one. Let me copy that. Where revenue, so it won't look as if we actually neglected the one for numbers. Where revenue, if you are not sure of your spelling, please just copy the spelling, because if you don't have your spelling correctly, you might just have issues with. Okay, I think I press. Okay, let me just write it like that. Revenue is when revenue equals is greater than, let's say revenue is greater than when revenue is greater than 600. Let's do 600. Let's see if this will run. Now, did you see that your revenue, everything is having the ones that have value greater than 600? You get, so we have actually used the where now. You understand? Hey, now let's go on with other part of the class where we can actually use other commands so that we get um, different results and a desired results. Now let's go. Let's have let's use another sentence. Let's use, when sorting, when it comes to sorting with order by highest and lowest, things like that. So let's now do, okay, fine, let's do it like this. We have selected from sales performance where revenue is greater than 600. Now let's now say that we want to select our revenue in such a way that we have the highest revenue to the lowest, like let's say descending order, something like that. So let's just retrieve, select. So what I would do is this. I would do, we are using select all now. There's a way we can do it in such a way that we might not select all, we might select some specific part of your column. But let's do the select all first. Select all from performance where you have performance. Then you want to order it. Okay, order by, you want to sort it. Let's do order by, you want to select every of your data set, but you actually wanted to order it by revenue. Let's do revenue by revenue. Order it by revenue. Then let's have revenue as descending order. Now this is part of what you need to know. If you are writing descending, it must be DESC. You can write it in capital letter, you can write it in small letter, it will actually run. If you want it in form of ascending order, like from the smallest to the lowest, you have it as ASC. So now I put this to us that we can actually go and learn how to write, learn those simple syntax and commands. I think that will work. If you actually go and learn them, just play alongside with them, read alongside with them, you can actually, alongside with task, you can actually understand when to use it. Now the truth is, you can't get it at once. What you do is that the more you practice, the more you get better. So now let's go now, descending order, meaning that we want it to show us the highest. So we have revenue 1,962. You see it's going downward like that, because what do we want? We want to order it in a descending order. If you want it ascending order, let's try ASC, that is ascending. So it will change like that. Did you see that? It will change like that. So now order by, okay, let me do this. Using order by, you get, so that at least you know that that's what we actually work with. So the other things we can actually do too, let me show us order by That is when we want to actually sort things like that. Order by, then group by. There's a way you can actually do group by. If you're using group by, you are not now. You don't need you don't need to include as ascending or descending order. When you want to order something, you know it must be ascending or descending order. So you need to understand that when you are using the word order by, there must be ascending or descending there. You have to note that. So if you are not using order by, you don't need the ascending or descending. If you are selecting, there must be a from. You get. Now let's now go to order by. Let's go to group by. Let's play with group by. Then we'll go to aggregate function too. Now let's do using group by. Using group by. Now let's do something. Select. What should we select? Okay, let me combine the aggregate function with the group by, because I wanted to use the sum and the count when you are grouping by. You understand? So let's do aggregate function so that you not get confused, because I'm trying to take it step by step so that we understand. Now let's assume, there's one time like that we did we worked on this data set, and then we are trying to find out the total revenue of the sales. You understand? So in this part of SQL, let's do aggregate. If I get that, there should be G. Aggregate function. Okay, let me check. Let me include this one using aggregate function. It is very important to be mindful of your words, your spellings, and all here. Now, using aggregate function, there's one time like that we wanted to get total revenue. Let me put this one into bracket, like total revenue of the whole sales from the data set. So let's REVENUE. So now okay, fine. We want to get the total revenue using the aggregate function. And we know that. That's why I said I was taking a class. I said that when you understand Excel very well, you'll be able to work with other softwares, applying all the knowledge you have in Excel. But what you are going to do is that you need to actually understand when to use those functions. Now we know that we are going to be using sum, so far is total revenue. So how are we going to write a query? We know that for us to write any query, you can actually select any column you want. Now let me show us before we go on that part. Now we can do select. Let's select column, some columns apart from selector. Let's do select month. Month is an inbuilt stuff. Let's select. Okay, let me get the spelling for that month so that to be sure. Select month, comma. Let's say month product. Let me get the spelling of product. Normally, SQL has an inbuilt stuff for product, the basic function. That's why we're having it as plain. Select month product unit sold. Let me see. Let me copy this unit sold. Okay, unit sold. Or let me write U. Right, it's supposed to bring it in. It says unit sold. I don't know why it's not bringing it as. Okay, unit sold. Let's do select month product unit sold, meaning we don't want to select everything. So I'm teaching us aggregate after this one. Select month product unit sold. Now, and I told you that if you want to select anything, there must be the word from. Select month. We don't want region. We want product unit sold. From. So you can put it from downward or replace it there. From where? Where are you selecting it from? From sales performance. I don't want to type it again so that I will not make a mistake. So I want to retrieve that data. I want to show month, product, unit sold from sales performance. Did you see? It's now showing your month, your product, unit sold. Now let's make it complicated. Let's do where revenue is greater than, no, you can't use revenue again because we don't have the selection of revenue. Let's say where unit sold, so that's why I said that when it comes to query, you have to understand the commands to use and understand what you want to do, then write it. Now let's do where unit sold is greater than, let's play with 50, and let's execute if that one will run. Did you see that? Now we have it. Any of these informations here now is not less than 50. Let's make it where is equals to, when unit sold is equals to, let's put it exact figure. Let's do 64. Let's do 64. Execute. Did you see that? Now when month, product, unit sold from sales performance, where the unit sold is equals to 64, so I'm getting a data showing me that when the unit sold is 64, we only sold it in January and the product is tiger nut drink. So now this means that it is the way you write your query that determines your results. Just understand the syntax, the command, the aggregate function to use, and how to use them, how to write your query. Good. Now let's now play with other things. Let me just retrieving. Okay, let me copy this one so that I will not. That was not part of what I actually wanted to do. Let's go. Let me copy this one and put retrieving. Okay, retrieve. Let me just use getting your data in each column so that we can actually move on to the next one. So now let's go to the aggregate itself. Let's go to aggregate function itself. Now if you are working with the aggregate function, notice that any command you want to use, you must be very careful, and then you have to use as. Now if you are writing anything, like, okay, let me give you an instance. You want to get the total revenue. The first thing you are going to do is that, okay, you have to select that that revenue must be there. So but when you want to select it, you must give a command to your selection. So you don't want it to be the revenue itself, you want it to be the total revenue. So you are going to be saying select sum of what are you looking for? Sum of the revenue, right? Let me just copy this one because of time. Now this select sum, the sum of the revenue. You have to, because it is a new table, you have to put it there as. The reason why I put in the as is because you are creating another column like that. You are creating what is not in the table. Select sum as what, as let's do total. You can't have space here. Total revenue, like total revenue we did. Now this is select the sum of the revenue as total revenue. You must state where you are taking that data from. That's why I say anytime you have select, you must put from. So you can put it, the from under, it will run. You can put it in from where are we taking it from sales performance, because sometimes you might have two tables. Sales performance. Now let's do this. Let's execute it if it's better. Did you see that? So we have it as 52,526 that we have. I don't know if you remember that basic function that we use then. Did you see that? So using aggregate function to get the sum, we have to select the sum of revenue as total revenue. So when you are using your aggregate function, you are creating any function, you must use that as word. But don't forget, you must tell it where are you taking the data from where. Sales performance. So that's how the database works. Now let's play with Let's play with something else. We did, what did we do again? We did sorry, we did this total sum of, okay, let's do this way so that let's paste this like this. So we have, using aggregate function, total units sold, total units sold, total units sold. So we are going to select the sum of what? Say it in your mind. The sum of what? The units sold. Let me copy it here so that I will not waste much time, because if you don't get the right spelling, it will not run. Units sold as what? Total units sold. As total units sold. Total units sold from sales performance. Sometimes some people actually write their query like this. They write select and they write from sales performance. They will now go back and write all the other thing they want to write. Let's go. Total units sold 21,240. Did you see that? Total units sold. So now we can actually get our result and save all our results. You can save your results when you are done. See, these are results. These are results here. Save result as, you can save your result as that. So you can actually have, you can actually have all of these queries, all of these being run together at once. So let me show you so that I will not forget. Select. So I highlighted everything and executed it at the top, or you use F5. Now see, every of the tables will pop out. Every of my instructions are coming out. You get, so you can actually select all for each table and then save all your results. So that's that on that. So we are not done with all this one. Now unit sold, if you want to get, now apart from all these ones too, you can actually play with counting. Just like the function, you can count, you can get the average unit sold. You know, we got average. Okay, let's play with average now. Let's do select average. Select average. Let's do average. Let me just change this one to average. I'll remove it. Average is AVG here. So you have to understand the exact spelling to use. Did you see that? Total units sold. The average total units sold from this performance is 177. So that is how it works. Let me undo this. There are sometimes like that, if you sum of units sold. So let me execute this so that I know it is running fine. So that's that. With that, don't forget, when you are creating any of the commands, if you want to count, let's do count. You can do count too. We can count. So count. We can do count. I wanted us to do the listing count. Product as number of product. I'm going to undo it. Number of product. So this one has to be as number of products. You have to connect. You can't paste them like this. As number of products must join together. You see down wrap from count number of products from this should run. Number of products, you see is 120. Did you see is 120? Now okay, fine. For us, if you notice that this one basically is having number of products as 120, and you know this is not a distinct count. Don't forget, I don't know if you actually remember then that we actually had issue with distinct counts in class, that some people actually did not add theirs to their data model. You get, so now I'm showing us how to write a query like that to actually show a distinct count of the product. Now let's assume we have something like count. We want a distinct count for these products. This is an aggregate function, product count. Let me see, product count. If you make mistake when writing your own might not run immediately. Just check your spelling, check the errors like that, so you can actually fix that. You can do your count. What you just add is you put distinct. Distinct is spelled DISTINCT. I think that is it. Distinct. Select count distinct product as number of products from. Okay, this should work. Did you see that? Now we have the number of products to be 5, like we did in that other class. Now, so this is what we are talking about. Understanding the necessary syntax to use, the necessary command to use, so that you can be fine when you're writing your query. So let's go. Moving on, we can actually do different things, count, average, and all like that, getting the syntax to use. Okay, now let's do, we have not used group by. Let's play with group by, getting to get the basics. Okay, let's do using group by. Okay, let's paste it here, using group by. I just want to be fast with it. Normally we can actually type using group by. Fine. So when you're using group by, let's assume, okay, we want to actually show a region total revenue against region. Let's say total revenue against region, meaning that the table we actually want to show total revenue against region. So we now say, okay, fine, we need to use the word group by. So now we are not going to copy anything, we are going to write the query. Now let's say, okay, total revenue against region. What we are going to do, the first thing you're going to do is that, so far group by, using group by to get let me write it, to get total revenue, okay, so that we'll not write too much stories. Let's make it total revenue, let's go by total region. Now let's do this, let's get this. Don't forget, SQL is basically for that, it's for table manipulation. You can't do dashboard here. So even if you get a result here, you can actually extract your result back to CSV, then you get your desired results down. So you can get your table separately, you pick the desired results that you want. Now, so let's go. Now using group by to get the total revenue by region. Now, by region, group by, you get that now. Now let's now write it. I'm not going to copy anything. I want us to think about it. What should we do? If I want to get my total revenue by region, so what I will do is that I have to select the revenue and the region. But if I'm going to select my revenue, I have to be careful, because I will not select total revenue. It must be total revenue, and total revenue is not in the column, meaning that I have to put sum to it so that I get the total revenue. So now let's now write select. I like to put my it's because of the class. I like to put my cap lock, it's because of the class. That's why I'm taking lowercase. Now let's do select region. Let's write it region. Let me RIGIE. Please be careful of your spelling. Please be careful of your spelling. So let's go. We have region. Okay, now we have to select the region. Then we need to actually get the sum. Don't forget that we need to get the sum of revenue. Why? Because we want it to have the total. So let's go revenue. Let me just pick this revenue. Now I told you that when you have a new one, you need to put the as what? As total. Let's do this, total revenue. Don't forget, from where are we picking it from? Instead of copying it, you can actually type it, then it bring it out for you. Select region, the sum of the region as total revenue from sales performance. Then we now have to group by region. I'm right, region. Now we are asking the SQL to group it by region. So region by region, give us the total revenue for everybody. Did you see that? I grouped it by the region. So we have Abuja, we have Ibadan, we have Lagos and Port Harcourt, and it's giving us the total revenue made from each region, grouped by the region. Now sometimes you can actually have, okay, let's play, we can actually play with something like we want to get the average revenue per product. We can do average. Now we have, let's do units sold per month. Let's do units sold per month so that we can get that. Then I'll show us how we can combine all kinds of queries together. Sometimes you can combine some queries together and then you get your desired result. Let's do total units sold per month. Total units sold per total unit per month. So now let's do that. So maybe we are going to select the unit sold. We are not going to work with, okay, let us write it from scratch so that we can get it. Now let's go select unit sold. Select, meaning we are going to select what? The month and unit sold. Now let's go select month. Be careful of the spelling. Month, comma. Now we know that we need the total unit, so we have sum. Then we have the unit sold in brackets. What's the name of the header? Then be sure unit sold, that is lowercase, so that I don't like writing my query twice actually. So select month, the sum of the units sold. Now if you're having sum of units sold as what? As total units sold, as total units sold, total units sold, as total units sold, as total units sold. So we have 30,600. That is May, March, June, January, February, like in the descending order. You understand? So we can actually do other things. You can manipulate your ways where we have where total unit is less than 30, is less than 3,600. Then having some, we can use having too. So this is dependent on what you desire to do. So basically we have actually used this the normal basics, like these are the normal commands we use in SQL. So I'll stop here so that we not just get it.